Hi everybody, Captain Valen here. And it's just another quick rant. This time it's going to be about My Hero Academia. I've been thinking about this forever. And this isn't to say that the fandom or the fervor over it isn't warranted. It's a very good manga and anime. I'm not casting shade anywhere. What I am doing is kind of elucidating the reason why it's so big right now, and that's a large part of it is because it came into an exceptionally soft market. With Marvel and DC making movies and TV shows, superheroes have never been more accepted in Western society. It's not the geeky comic book kids anymore like when I grew up and had to like hide my comics in the homes lest people thought that I was some kind of nerd, and they would usually rip them up when they found them or mock me or what have you. But I stole them every week. Sorry, super poor, bad kid, whatever. But I used to love Marvel comics, and I'm super happy that it's gotten so big to the point that it's absolutely mainstream. Like everybody knows it, everybody talks about it. It's an acceptable topic. Like, there was a time you couldn't really just talk about Captain America, like, oh yeah, Captain America, blah 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 blah, with just anybody, and they would be able to converse with you. They'd be like, oh, you mean the dude from the Charleston Chew? I think I might have aged myself on that one, but that kind of proves my point. Is the culture has grown so accepting of this. I'm gonna fix my camera real time here. All right, guys, I'm gonna give it up a little bit. Boop. Hi, right here. Let's talk about it. But yeah, it's never been more acceptable to have superheroes or mutants or things like that going around. And if you really think about it, that's kind of what this is. Horikoshi is a huge Marvel and DC fan, or comic book fan, I really should say. I don't think he's one or the other, but he did an interview in his home once. And A, the dude wore the dopest mask, straight up and down. And B, the dude's house he's like whatever a weebo would be for like our stuff. Like how like Roger and Tekking and most people have like all sorts of knickknacks or fucking like chibi. Good God, that dude has a bunch of stuff. It's like that, but for like Marvel action figures and like from comic book action figures. I don't want to say just Marvel because it's more than just that, but yeah, it's of course he's been influenced, and the market's never been more ready to accept something. Like, if this was if this happened before Naruto, My Hero Academia wouldn't have been shit. Not in the West. It would still be huge, back in Japan, but over here, no. No, people wouldn't care nearly as much. It would still be dope. It could do it the exact same way. It just wouldn't catch on as big, as fast. They wouldn't have gotten a movie within how many years of production? Like, it's exploded because of the culture that Marvel and DC and I guess Disney and Warner Brothers have created and pushed into mainstream. And people are like, well, there's other manga that have been around longer and never gotten like this big this fast. And I'm going to point to One Piece, because One Piece, I guess, I don't think I qualify as a stan of anything, but I like One Piece considerably more than most things. I see tons of faults in it, you know what I mean? But it's still, it's still one of my favorites. But the common thing with that is, it's way too deep to get into at this point. Like, now that anime is a little more accepted, a little more mainstream, people who are like, oh, I love anime, I love it, I watch Dragon Ball Z and Black Clover, I watch all that, yo, I'm so cool, I love Goku. And, you know what I mean? Like, those people don't give One Piece a chance because it's too deep, which I find incredibly ironic considering how deep Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Gut. I don't say the thing because we don't talk about it. And Dragon Ball Super. Like, or now Super Plus, or whatever it's turning into now. Plus Ultra! No. But the truth is, it came into a very open, loving situation, unlike a lot of other manga. Naruto had to fight tooth and nail to get where it was, and it took years for it to be as accepted as it was. And you can argue that, but if you really look back, the cultural acceptance kind of like it grew gradually and then it exploded. Like I remember being there, knowing about it, keeping my mouth shut. Granted, that's not saying a lot for me because I keep my mouth shut about most things. I'm actually going to undo my vest. You can't even see it, so what's the point? And the depth of One Piece versus the depth of My Hero makes My Hero far more acceptable and accessible. You know what I mean? 922 manga chapters and almost that many anime episodes. That's a lot for anybody. That is a huge amount of time, dedication, and really the biggest resource that we all have that we seem to squander the most is probably time. And I'm super guilty of that. That's not like a critique. That's just everybody does it. Like we don't think of time as the commodity. You know what? That's a whole different video. I'm coming back to that. We're going right on to one of the reasons. I've said this before, but I want to flesh it out a little bit. One of the reasons I'm not that big a fan of some of the stuff Horikoshi's, and it's not because it's bad, but it's because I know stuff. Like the whole stuff with, I want to say his name's Split. I forgot to look it up before I started the video, and it's super too late now. But the dude that can make copies of himself, that's with the League of Evil or whatever they're called, Villain League, or I'm not looking stuff up. I'm just talking, all right? But his whole shtick is basically the identity crisis of Multiple Man, like to the key, where he didn't know who the real one was, and they started to kill each other, and he's got to like live with that and figure stuff out. Maybe he's not the real one, and there's another one out there. Like there's this whole thing that you can say he got inspiration from, but when it's that close, it's like, come on, son. Like, we know. You can't just, you can't tell me yellow water and say it's piss, but it's really lemonade. Or reverse that. I think I had it better in my head. You can't sell me piss and tell me it's lemonade. You know what I mean? Like, I know what's what in this particular case. And I get it. He's had a lot of success kind of mirroring X-Men and things before that. The whole class structure, the way they do their things. If you didn't notice the Danger Room kind of feel of everything, you're out of your mind and you never read comics, okay? I love it because it's animizing, mangaizing. One of my favorite intellectual properties in the entire world. The idea of mutants and powers and stuff like that. I love it. I'm super grateful for it. And I don't want that to get lost in this video or the critique of Horikoshi in this particular case, because he is a good writer, but I can't in good conscience let that slide knowing how big a fan he is. You dig? Like, nah, Jack, that's not how this works. That's never how this works. If I know, I'm going to say something. And if I don't know, I hope somebody else says something so that I can be informed. Because ignorance is not bliss. Ignorance is somebody waiting to take advantage of you. And you could take that one to the bank. If you have one. I don't know y'all financial situations. And I want to talk about something that may not be it, but the controversy over Endeavor, which actually brought a lot of people over to the series, so they can like read up and bitch about it. I kind of feel that way because it got really, really popular, and then people stopped talking about it, and then those people don't talk about My Hero Academia anymore. You know who you are. But I'm going to talk about it. Endeavor's one of my favorite characters since he got introduced. Was I like, oh man, it's my favorite, he's beating the crap out of his kid? No. Obviously, the fact that he put his son through what is essentially psychological, physical, and emotional torture is absolutely appalling. But I said this in my other video, let's not forget, at least he didn't boil his face like his mom did. Alright? Like, and it's far more in his capability to boil somebody's face than the mother's, who apparently had ice powers. So, yeah, before you start getting all, but Endeavor did... No, fuck you. Look at the mother just the same. Just because she's a victim of abuse doesn't mean she gets to get away with it. So all of a sudden, if we find out that Endeavor was abused by his father the same way, does he get a pass? Do all of you all of a sudden go, oh, poor Endeavor? You probably won't, because you're fair weather and you don't think things deep. You don't understand that the whole thing could be Horikoshi working out his own demons and wishing. One of the reasons I like him now to jump around a little bit is because it's because he wants salvation. He understands what he did was wrong and he wants to do better. As somebody who's gone through plenty of ass whoopings from plenty of adults, I would almost burped there, sorry. I would love, absolutely love, for some of the people that hurt me to feel like shit about it and have it ruin their emotional setting for quite some time while they deal with the fuckery of their own life. With the messed upness of their own lives. You heard it. It happened. I'm not editing. All right, that's the part that gets me. Like, people aren't seeing the pain that Endeavor's in because of what he did. The face, that's another thing. People don't like to face their own issues, so when they watch somebody else do it, they put their own spin on it. The truth is, Endeavor did some fucked up shit, and he's trying to go face to face with that. He didn't flinch. He didn't walk away. He didn't move away when his son flipped out and threw stuff and started saying all this jazz at him. No, he stood there. He took it. He accepted it for what it was, a justified reaction to his behavior. And if y'all can't get with that, then y'all need to grow up and start really thinking about, like, the way people work and not just the way you work. That's been your public announcement for the day. Thank you kindly. All right. But, yeah, I'm getting back to the main point. It's going to be really easy, and it's probably going to last a long time because Marvel isn't going anywhere. DC's only going to get better. And from there, it'll just get more and more accepted. I think Horikoshi is an amazing writer, and he will continue to grow and kind of fill the superhero void that's been in manga that is now absolutely perfectly filled, if I'm being incredibly honest. Like, there's a lot of superpowered mangas out there, but there's none that do it this way, this good, and with this level of consistency. And I think that's kind of the point. Like, you can be what you want in this world. If you want to go to hero training, you can have the craziest, stupidest quirk. You do it right, you figure it out, and you're million. You know what I mean? Like, that dude's balling. Diving through the earth like a dolphin. That's the illest, and people don't respect it enough. And the fact that he hangs dong, are you serious? That shit's hilarious. I would slap people with it. Did he just, what's all these mushroom stamps? Like, I'm a horrible person, but that'd be me. You know what I mean? Like, I got you there, didn't I? Anyway, that's my little rant, and sorry for the rampant stupidness, let's call it what it is, at the end, but it'd be funny. I'm trying to figure out how to end all these without just going, I always forget. And by not editing, I will keep remembering to add this in at the end. Please leave a like and comment. I really want to know how you guys feel about this particular topic. I actually do. I want people to tell me if there's things that I missed. I will reply to all messages if it's pertaining to the topic. If you're just talking smush at me, you can do what you want. Have fun. Like, get crazy with it. I don't really care. But if you actually want to contribute and be part of the conversation, I'll do my best to reply to every single person. And I'm going to come out with a mission statement about what I want to do with my channel and the things I want to say and blah, blah, blah. When I come out with that video pretty soon, I just got to put it all down. But for now, I'm making videos every day. I'm putting them out as often as once a day, if I can. I'm going to try and keep it up as best I can for as long as I can. I'm going to leave my Twitter in the description below. So if you if you have ideas for me to just rant about, or if you want to have a conversation and join me in here, feel free. I don't really care who you are, so long as you don't spout hate speech, you watch your mouth, and you act civil. That's really all I got. All I need from people. If you want to jump in, jump in. Let's have a conversation. I'm not really good at this monologuing thing, as you can tell. Sometimes I fumble, but I like talking with people a lot better. So feel free to give me a line. All right. This is Captain Fallon, keeping it 100%. Y'all have a good day.